James Wan is a fantastic filmmaker. He has this fabulous classic quality to his work, which is unusual not only for a current day director, but for one who personally has such a modern aesthetic, right? And he's proven this time and time again, the quality of his work with his horror films. But the key aspect there is time and time again. And I really do think that it's time for James Wan to move on. I mean, he killed it with Furious 7. That is a spectacularly crafted film and also surprisingly modern. It doesn't have some of the classic elements that his horror films do. And I'm very excited to see what he does on Aquaman. I guess my feeling is I want to see him push himself, and he's not pushing himself anymore in this space, in the horror space. Now, that's not to say that The Conjuring 2 isn't a good movie. It's a very good movie. But there's a sameness to it. I think that Wan, while staying steady, isn't really doing anything to up his game. For instance, in the Insidious franchise, there's a guy in drag as a bride, right? And in here, in this movie, there's a guy in drag as a nun. You know, it's like, it's still creepy as hell, but you're like, I've seen this before. And also for Patrick Wilson, I have in my notes here, Patrick Wilson, he's in both the Insidious and the Conjuring franchises. So they start to kind of like blend together, just like into the James Wan horror universe, cinematic universe, a place I enjoy visiting. But I don't know, I guess I'm not, I enjoy visiting it, but you have to be in the mood to visit it. You know, I don't think that The Conjuring 2 is a movie that anybody needs to see, but if you want to have the crap scared out of you, it's a really good choice. Like, I enjoyed watching it. What I saw, I had to hide my eyes quite a bit. I think it's very scary. I think The Conjuring 2 also has a surprising message about the importance of a marriage being a good team, which I was surprised. It's also surprisingly religious. It's a very religious film, in fact. So if you are very strong in faith, I think that there are certain aspects to this film that you will really enjoy. It's actually, I think, one of the most pro-religious horror films I've ever seen. I think that like Vera Farmiga's character's faith is commendable, admirable, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe makes a couple of people not only because the movie scared the crap out of them with this idea of demons, but the comfort that it gives her and also the strength and power. So and even if you're not fighting demons, that's the whole idea of religion, that will give you those abilities in life. So I thought that was really nice. I also thought the acting was so good. Vera Farmiga, really good actress here. She's always a good actress, but she's used particularly well in this franchise. Patrick Wilson, James Wan, he has James Wan to thank for his career these days, and James Wan continues to treat him very nicely. I also thought that the actress who played Janet, the girl who's possessed, was spectacular. Her name is Madison Wolfe, and get this! She's not even British. Actually, when I was watching the movie, it was really interesting because I know from, social media that they filmed most of it on a soundstage, which, you can kind of tell when you see like the fantastic camera work and their ability to change the lighting and the weather so easily. It really shows, like, if you have your movie take place basically in one location, you can really go to town. Like, James Wan should be an inspiration for student filmmakers everywhere, right? Choose one location and film the heck out of it. So I like that. And so it's funny when you're watching it, you're like, oh yeah, this is all on a soundstage. That's how you did that. That's pretty cool. But I guess we can take away from this that also very few people in the movie are actually British. For instance, the mom, Frances O'Connor, who I watched on a couple of seasons of Mr. Selfridge playing an American. Here, she is American. Here she's playing a Brit. So I thought that was really interesting. I'd be curious for those of you who are British, are the accents good? Can you tell that these aren't British actors? And I guess it's a nice change of pace considering the fact that usually Brits are playing Americans. But also, this movie, it reminded me a lot of the Babadook. I don't know if you've seen the Babadook. The Babadook is very good. One of the reasons it reminded me of the Babadook was the look and layout of the house. And the Babadook was Australian, and of course, that also is an extension of the UK, although we're an extension of the UK and our houses don't look like this. This was like a creepy house, like yikes. Like there was this like scary corner where this chair is and like the walls all rotted and like you're like, that looks possessed to me. I don't know why it's so hard for anyone to believe. Like that whole wall looks like it's got evil baked into it. But I don't know. With the trailer, some of you said that these houses are very true to life that they're showing, but boy, they look scary. But anyway, back to the Babadook. The house looked the same and the layout was very similar, but I have to say that The Babadook was just like a more ambitious movie. Now, not every movie needs to be ambitious, and I think that, James Wan has a pretty darn good little horror factory here, turning out a quality product. I really liked Annabelle. I liked the first Conjuring, although I think the first Conjuring was more ambitious. I've liked all the Insidious movies, and I liked this movie. But, they're not like reinventing the wheel or anything. Like, they know what works, they know what people want to buy. I would say it's like you're buying like maybe a little bit better than like, drugstore candy, but I wouldn't say it's like the best European candy either. It's like somewhere in the middle. It tastes good, but it's not something you need to have. So if you want to have the crap scared out of you, if you like James Wan's horror movies like I do, I think this is totally a movie that you'll have fun seeing. But again, nobody needs to see The Conjuring 2. It's just a really good, well-made horror film. But if you have to choose, maybe I'd rent The Babadook instead, right? Or rent The Shining, right? If you haven't seen those movies. I mean, I think if you've seen Annabelle, if you've seen the first Conjuring, if you've seen the Insidious movies, to some degree, you've seen The Conjuring too. But if you want another chapter of that, this delivers in spades. All right, so that's my thoughts on The Conjuring 2. I'll be doing a spoiler review tomorrow as well, so I look forward to continuing the conversation with you there. But for now, be sure to leave any thoughts you want down below, but just remember, no spoilers, because this is the non-spoiler review. All right, thanks for watching.